Yeah, so with all the mortgage rule changes and the access to more money for Canadians to borrow towards housing and the lower interest rates, is this guaranteed to push housing prices up? I mean, we're going to find out really soon. Probably early in the new year, we'll get an idea of what that's going to look like. What's your projection here?
So I think that it will have a certain effect on certain houses in certain markets. I don't believe that all of a sudden all of these new rules will push all prices up over $1 million or all of a sudden increase the value of all those properties. Case in point would be the condo market in Toronto. We have way too much supply of a certain type of unit, mainly one bedroom condos that not as many people are buying as they were buying a couple of years ago. And we've got a lot of supply coming to the market in the next 2 years or so. So I don't, regardless of what the new rules are, I don't see that price point changing at all. But if we're looking at semi-detached townhouses, and I'm speaking here in the
Yeah,
GTA that are
I
maybe
agree.
in that $1 million mark, I see those certainly going above a million on average.
Yeah, I think it could push up those prices by sort of 10 to 20%. I don't think it's unrealistic to think, and those were highly competitive properties and always maintained their value. And that was sort of where the biggest sort of flexibility in terms of like that extra, getting an extra $100,000 or something for a selling price. I think it's that, which was the stressed out first time home buyers. That's really what it was built around. Um,
Yeah.
we should see that probably increase 10 to 20%. So if you were a townhome owner and you were thinking, oh, the value of these townhouses can never reach more than $1 million, I think you're in for a pleasant surprise if you're going to try to sell
Yeah.
your house in the new year.
Yeah, I think we're at anything in the 900 range could certainly, or 950 could certainly continue to go up above $1 million. I don't think that there's any the holdback was that people don't have $200,000.
The down payment holdback,
The
yeah.
down payment's big, right? So now you at $1 million, you need $75,000. It's $125,000 less. So meaning that a teacher and a police officer who are a couple have $100,000 incomes or so, and they've got only have 75,000 only. Like 75,000 is a lot of money,
Isn't
right?
it
Like
crazy?
$75,000, all of a sudden you can buy a property at $1 million, or at 1.1 you can buy whatever that $85,000 is the down payment. So all of a sudden that opens that up. It gets a lot more competitive around that price mark of $1 million. But I don't see a $400,000 condo all of a sudden being worth $670,000.
Yeah, I don't see it having any effect on the condo market. That has its own sort of set of economic criteria, essentially supply and demand. That it'll take a few years, but the condo market will also, get back on track and start to increase as well as less and less are being built right now. So we still have a housing crisis. Now we just have potentially more money to throw around at it. We just
Right.
need to get shovels into the ground and get some stuff built.
The question I saw online was, will looser lending policies encourage more people to buy homes they can't afford in the first place? I love how
Hell yes,
spicy that is.
of course it will. That's the kind of sensational headline that I like and that I support. I'm like, of course it will. It's a little bit irresponsible. I mean, I called that out when Christy Freeland first announced some of these changes. I'm like, yeah, we have to do something, probably around moving the insured mark up from 999,000 to somewhere. But what
Mhm.
it does is it incentivizes people to borrow more money. Whether they can afford it or not, I don't know. We have stress tests, in
Yeah,
place for a
that's what
reason.
I was gonna say.
Yeah.
There's stress tests. We're already like really guiding people into what they can afford. Like I find that the rules are tighter now than they were. Lenders have pulled back on some of these extra programs where all of a sudden people can borrow more. I certainly they can borrow more, but the guardrails are very strict for people to say like, oh, they can't afford it in the first place. If they're borrowing the money, the bank, they can definitely afford it. It's 2% higher than
That's
what
right.
they're getting qualified at, 2% higher than what they could otherwise.
Which
So I
has
think
really
it's a little,
protected us against any kind of problems that have come out of this high interest rate environment that we've been in for the last couple of years, right? Is that everybody had to qualify at 5.25%. So when interest rates went there, nobody's out of pocket. I mean, life's going to cost more, and right now that stinks. But
yeah.
well, we're not gonna see some kind of distressed market and prices selling way below average. Um, the balance is kept.
Yeah. I think prices are set to go up, but I think it's based on a variety of factors. Interest rates coming down, the rules being a little bit better. I think we're going to have a really good housing market this spring compared to what we've had the last couple of years. I don't see it going up dramatically, though.